Well, this talk is about the mystery of the incarnation. Trying to find, we could say, the practical consequences for our lives, for our personal life, for our life as a society, for our life as a church. And I will start with a story. It's the story of this man on the left. This man on the left was called Adam Mielowski, Polish, and he was a painter, a very good painter, a very high quality painter, a very famous painter that who at a certain point of his life changed his life. St. John Paul II you have is on the right. You know him when he was a young priest in his 40s. He wrote a theater play about the life of Adam Mielowski. It's a very nice play. Actually, after, it's very interesting because this Adam, who later became the brother Albert, had inspired St. John Paul II in his life. Was one of his spiritual masters, we can say, or figures in his life. And actually, St. John Paul II, later when he was a pope, he beatified him and he canonized him. It's very interesting, very nice, the history of these two men. Brother Albert died in 1916. 1916. But he lived in the same city where John Paul II, Karol Wojtyła lived. And then the plane, John Paul II wrote this plane in 1945, more or less 47. In Poland was the end of the German domination, the Nazis, Hitler, but was starting the domination by the communists, Russia. And then there was, he was a university teacher, professor, and in the universities was all this environment of the communism, like attracting people, and then trying to solve the problems of society. And then this is why John Paul II wrote this. What is the story? This was a very famous painter that by case, we can say by chance, got into a shelter for homeless people. They are in Krakow in the winter, very cold. And there he met the people who lived there. And he was absolutely shocked by that. From that moment on, he started thinking on, reflecting what he could do. And the point what John Paul II presents in this plane is what has to be the attitude, or what can we do when we meet this kind of miseries, this kind of needs. There in this shelter live people, but absolutely poor, miserable. They had nothing. And what he saw is that the high society, or the society to which he in some way belonged, they didn't care. They didn't care about them. The high society, the liberals, those who had the money, didn't care about the poor. But on the other side, he also saw that the communists were going there just to raise people for the revolution. I mean, what John Paul II saw is that a big deal of the society didn't care. It's the liberalism, it's the capitalism. Okay, if there are poor people, bad luck, no? It has to happen. Then what can we do? We don't care. But the others, the communists, wanted to use their anger. And one of the main topics of the whole playing is the anger. These people is angry. And if it's not, they should be. They should be angry against society, against the system, against whatever. Okay, what is what St. John Paul II little by little discovers? That some people will deny the problem, like not caring about it. Other people will try to use the poor people for the revolution. They will try to use the poor people for the revolution. This is a communist. And the others instead will try to eliminate the problem. How can you eliminate the problem? Eliminating people. This is what Malthus and all the Malthusian theories will do. If they cannot eliminate, if it is so not easy to eliminate the present people, they will eliminate the future people. What are the campaigns for abortion and all that? Oh, in this earth, we are so many. We are too many. We have to diminish. Let us eliminate the problem. There will be not any more poor people because they will not have the chance to be. Okay, these are the three solutions that John Paul II and also Adam Milowski faces. When Adam Milowski was painting this, Ecce Homo, is a Christ, then things started changing. He was really tempted by this. I mean, he came from this high society which didn't care. He was really tempted by this communist solution of the problem that is raising the anger of the poor to change things, to change the system, to change economics, to change politics. But while painting that, he discovered that nor one, neither the other were the right solutions. He discovered that the solution has to be another, totally different. He said, all these solutions are speaking about the poor, but none of them know what is to be a poor. They are not really approaching them, and they are not dealing with them, respecting their dignity. One will like despise or not care. The others will try to use them as if poor people were tools for them, objectives, but not respecting them as people, as persons, not giving them the dignity they deserve. The only way, he said, to respect their dignity is to approach them in the same way that Jesus did with us. Is while meditating, while painting all that he has a very strong conversion. And actually, in that moment, he starts receiving poor people in his house. And the next step is going to the market to beg for them, gathering donations in the market for the poor, and then bring. But finally, he leaves everything. He leaves everything and becomes Brother Albert, a Tertian Franciscan brother, but who later will found a new institute, a new religious institute that are the Little Brothers of St. Francis, founded in Poland by Adam Milowski. Well, this is a little the story. Then what Adam Milowski discovers, what Brother Albert discovers, is the transforming power of the incarnation. The transforming power of the incarnation. This is the topic of the talk. Our life is marked by distinctions. We have to distinguish things. We have to face problems. We will face oppositions, one thing that is contrary to the other. We will find or meet also tensions. And all this many times become what we can call a dilemma. A dilemma. A dilemma means a problem that seems not to have a solution. that we have two things, and then I think I meet the poor. I don't know what to do. If I do that, it seems wrong. If I do that, it seems also wrong, or it seems that it's not effective, or that is not the best. What can we do? And our life is full of that. That is to say, oppositions in which it seems that I cannot save one element if I affirm the other. Especially it happens in our times. Especially it happens in our times. Why? Because of what you heard, I think it was Wednesday, about the different revolutions. Why? Because what is the movement? The essential movement of revolution is dialectic, opposing things, opposing things. You have to, they say, you have to oppose things to go forward, to move forward. Okay, in our times is shaped, our culture is shaped by that. Then you cannot hold one thing if you will not destroy the other, what seems to be the contrary. This that seems a little abstract also is part of our life. I mean, always can be presented like these oppositions, these dilemmas, these dialectics between body and soul, for example, or in our lives. I mean, it's not only a matter of politics, it's a matter also of our human life. Oh, should I follow my reason or my feelings? No, follow your heart, don't follow your reason. Or follow your reason, don't follow your heart. And it seems that if you affirm one, you have to despise or destroy the other. Or action or contemplation. Or should we move or should we study more? Or faith and reason. Oh, if you have faith, you have no science. If you have science, you have no faith. Science and faith. Justice and mercy. Today, the Sunday of mercy. If God is just, he cannot be merciful. If he is merciful, it means that he is less just. And so on, so on. I mean, the list could be, it's an ending list. For example, renunciation, asceticism, to do penance, to sacrifice yourself, or to be joyful, happy, enjoying, grateful, and etc. Freedom, grace, or you are free, or is God moving you? What is what? What is the point? Obedience or autonomy. Will you obey, or will you decide by yourself? Will you follow something, or will you make it by yourself? Absolutely, by your decision. Tradition or progress. No, these are all things of our fathers. The progress is going to, the future is, if you follow tradition, you will have no progress. Or, for example, we can say economical growth or assistantialism. If you help much the poor, then your enterprise, your firm will not grow, then you will not be able to survive in the, in the market, then you cannot do much charity, because if you do, you will not. Okay, all these kind of dilemmas, problems, oppositions, as I have said, many of them in the root are natural difficulties or problems of our life. But in our days, by the dialectic, they grow and grow more and more and are presented more and more as the essence of our life. The Second Vatican Council in Gaudium et Spes is one of the documents in number 22, has an expression that is the main topic for this talk. And it says, only in the mystery of the incarnate word does the mystery of man take on light. It says, the only chance, the only way we have to understand the mystery of man is the mystery of the incarnation of Jesus Christ. The mystery of man means the problems of society, the problems of economics, the problems of development, the problems of war and peace. but also your problems. Your mystery, and each one of us is a mystery for him or herself, your mystery will find light only in the mystery of the incarnation. Only if you put it in front of the mystery of Jesus Christ. This is what it says in the Second Vatican Council. It's our doctrine, it's our faith. But it's a very strong expression. It's a very strong expression. It's what we saw in the life of this Saint Albert, Brother Albert. He tried different ways to face the problem of poverty, but he discovered that the only way to face it rightly is through the mystery of the incarnation. And what is the mystery of the incarnation? We know, you know, we call as the mystery of the incarnation the fact that the second person of the Holy Trinity became man. There is in the Holy Trinity, in God himself, there is the Father, there is the Son, and then there is the Holy Spirit. The second, the Son, the Word, became man. Is Jesus Christ, the incarnation in the womb of Mary Most Holy. This is the incarnation. It means that still being God assumes a human nature, and then we have only one person in two natures, God and man. This is the mystery. But it's very important to understand that it is a mystery when we say that the mystery of man will find solution, will find light only in the mystery of the incarnation. I am not saying the solution for all human problems is a formula. I'm not saying that because it's not a formula. Oh, I discovered the formula against poverty. No, it's not a formula. It's a mystery. Then it's not that I will tell you, okay, the solution to poverty is 2 + 2 makes 4. It's not that. No, because these human problems or mysteries are so deep that it's not a matter of a formula. It's a mystery. It's what we discovered Adam, St. Albert. He said it's not a matter of saying, okay, the right thing to do is that. No, no, no. When he was painting the Ecce Homo, he said, perhaps there are many right things to do about that. But what I can do is go to live with them. Is go to be one of them. And then from there to help them. We will speak about that later. And later, it's very important that the incarnation is a fact. It's a fact. It's not a doctrine. Communism is a doctrine. Liberalism is a doctrine. Incarnation is not a doctrine. It's a fact. Something that happened. Something that happened. There is an author that says, when you face the human pain and suffering, what can you do? You can make a class explaining what is. But it's not what God did. What Jesus did is to go to the cross himself. It's a fact. God speaks first through facts and after through words. And then the incarnation is very important to understand this. There is a fact, there is not a doctrine. It's not an ideology. It's not an ideology. What is an ideology? An ideology is when I find a system that explains many things of human life, and I assume it as the last explanation for everything. A close explanation. Communism, the system is this. Do you like? Yes, good. You don't like? Sorry for you. But the system is this. You cannot go out of this. You cannot, because it's a system. It's an ideology. Ideology means a building, an intellectual or rational building that later you try to apply to reality, to perform or transform reality according to your idea. This is an ideology. There have been many ideologies along the history, many. Many, okay. Incarnation is not an ideology. It's not something that you can have here and later you will shape reality. It's a mystery. It's a fact. It's the action of God. God is infinite. His action is infinite. It's not the same. Okay, later, it will be expressed in principles. What is best? What should we do? What we shouldn't do? Okay, yes. But it's not an ideology. It's very important that. Let us try to consider how the different aspects of the mystery of the incarnation give us the keys to understand the mystery of man. I mean, I will not explain every aspect of human life that is explained under the light of the incarnation. I cannot do that because it's a mystery, because it's an ending, because it has no end, this deepening. Is what we do through our Christian life. We try to go deeper into the mystery of Jesus through our Christian life. Then I cannot do that for you. I cannot do that even for myself. Then, but I cannot explain the solution that the incarnation gives to every single. But I would like just to show how to say the method, how it works, by putting some like examples of that. How is that in the mystery of the incarnation I can find the solution, or I can find the answer is better, the answer to our human problems. And when we consider the mystery of the incarnation, we see that each one of its aspects, and I will mention 5 very shortly, this is the first one, each one of its aspects gives an answer to our main problems and issues. Then let us consider the end of the incarnation. Why, for what did Jesus, for what did the Word become man? For what? To save us. To save us from sin. This is what God reveals. To save us from sin. Okay, in that only fact, in that only phrase, and in that only expression, we understand how many ideologies are absolutely wrong. Are absolutely wrong. For example, the liberalism will say the man is born good, but he is corrupted by society. All of us, we are born good, very good people, but later society corrupts people. Okay, this is liberalism, but this is wrong. Sorry, but this is wrong. You can be absolutely alone and still you will have bad passions, bad feelings, sins. Yes, because we have original sin. Original sin. Then what is the mystery of the incarnation putting light on that? It says, it tells me, essentially we are good. Yes, we are good because we are created by God. We are good, but we are also wounded. Good, but wounded. This is original sin. Okay, this is the right answer. But also speaks about the relationship between evil and good. He came to save us from something that is absolutely bad. What is absolutely bad? Absolutely bad is sin, malice. And sin and malice is absolutely bad. You cannot save it. You cannot excuse it. You cannot say that you need to combine bad and evil to allow progress to happen. No, this is Buddhism. You cannot say that. No, the opposition between good and evil is absolute. It's not that there are two elements that shape reality and helps each other. No, they don't help each other. Good is absolutely positive and evil is absolutely negative. Finish. But there is a line that divides absolutely both things. Okay, that seems so abstract. Later in our lives, it comes to our lives. It comes to our lives. When nowadays you will listen to friends of you or people saying, "Oh, that is not so bad. Why should it be so bad?" Oh, anyway, it's necessary that bad things are because no, wait. One thing is good, another thing is evil. But also gives us the right sense of salvation. That means that our nature needs to be redeemed. Our body, our powers, our activities. It means that human nature, as we said, is not good, totally good. It's not totally bad. It's not totally bad, human nature. No, it's good, but wounded. But that means that our human reality needs to be purified, needs to be redeemed. We have to take out sin from our lives and from human realities. That what is true for ourselves is also true for society. It's also true for society. And then pay attention, because as we have said, to acknowledge that we are wounded, to acknowledge that we fail, involves or brings with it a big sense of tolerance. I mean, there are things that are wrong, but are wrong. We have to tolerate them because they are part of our life. But to tolerate something bad is never to say that this is good. It's not the same. To tolerate is acknowledging that it's bad, but for now it's convenient to let it go, to let it happen, because you cannot defeat it. I don't know. Many things in the society had to be tolerated. Some degree of robberies, some degrees of drugs, some degrees of, I mean, because there is no way to solve it totally. Some degree of poverty, but to tolerate is not the same as to say that it's good. To tolerate that someone takes the wrong decision is not the same as saying that this is good. And this is the change that is happening nowadays. I can tolerate that a person uses his body badly with the same sex. Okay, in the society up to a certain point can be tolerated. Yeah, I mean, tolerance. But tolerance is not to say that this is the best, that this is what should be. No, it's totally different. And this brings us to discover that an unjust, unfair, unmoral law, any unmoral law, is unhuman. Is also unhuman. It's not a matter of faith. It's also because the mystery of the incarnation reveals to us what humanity is. And finally, I already said that humanity is wounded. It means that, yes, we have to find solutions. We have to seek them. We have to work out. We have to try to, for example, this issue of poverty. The solution is not saying, oh, no, we have not to work for social justice. We have to do it. We have to work for social justice. Yes. We have to work to better the system, economical system. Yes. We have to do it. We have to try our best. But it's acknowledging that there is a certain point in which every human solution is not enough. This is the point. Every human solution helps, but it's not enough. You can make better the system, but unless you solve the problem of sin in those peoples, or in those who have to put solution, you will not find any good solution. Always our nature until the last day will be wounded. This is what Adam Mielowski discovered. One of the phrases that struck him when he was painting the Ecce Homo and he was visiting the poor, and especially facing the communists who came to him to try to convince him, because they saw him very interested in the poor, and they said, okay, this is a good element to gain for our cause, and they were trying. One of the phrases that really healed him or cured him is that of Jesus that we read past week in the gospel, that when Jesus says, the poor will always be with you. I mean, it's like saying, the poor will always be with you. What does it mean? Always they will be poor. Why? Because of sin. Because of the wounded nature. What does it mean, that phrase? We must strive and work for a better society. We must strive and work for the best possible society. But the perfect society is not possible. Perfect society is not possible. Why? Because there is sin. Because our nature is wounded. And on that is one of the main points through which you can discover an ideology. Because an ideology always is promising a perfect society. And it's promising and it's saying it's possible and it will happen. And it wouldn't. It wouldn't happen. It will not happen. Because our nature is wounded. I mean, that is a pessimistic view. No, it's not a pessimistic view. At the end, we will discover that is a most optimistic view. But it's not a falsely optimistic view, as are the views of the ideologies. The American dream. Where is now the American dream? American dream started 60 years ago. Where is it now? Can you tell me? It's a society where many things work better, but it's not a perfect society at all. And now they are speaking about the Chinese dream. Let us see how long it runs. Okay, some things can go better, some things are getting absolutely worse, and never will happen the perfect society. But still, we have to work for it. The mystery in itself, that if we consider the end, if we consider the mystery in itself, this union of two natures in one person, we have two distinct natures that are united in only one person. This picture puts solution to a lot of human problems. To understand well that help us a lot in many human problems. The distinction of natures. There are two distinct natures. There are many consequences come out from it. What does it mean? That the nature that we are conscious is a nature created by God. Then that is good. And then we have this conclusion that is nothing new will be alien to us. Nothing human will be alien to us. What does it mean? That anything that is authentically human can be good, can be used for good, can be saved. And then we should never say, oh, this is absolutely right. I know people that 20 years, 30 years ago said that the computers were bad, were full of the demo. Yes, perhaps years ago people would say sex is bad, and it's not bad. Nothing human is alien to us. If it is really human, it means that it can be embraced, it can be saved. It has to be verified, but it can be saved. Human nature is good. Everything that belongs to human nature is good. Art, science, sports, work, development, technology is good. But it's used by wounded human nature. This is why also good things can be used in the wrong way. But if we consider, for example, the union of natures, the first we discover is hierarchy. Hierarchy means order. There are two natures, the divine and the human. They are not confused. They are not confused. The divine is the divine, and Jesus performs miracles because of his divine nature. He cures people. And the human nature, because of that, when Jesus suffers, he suffers. He suffers. It's not that the divine is putting a limit to his suffering. On the contrary, no. When he's human, it's absolutely human. There are two natures, but there is order. There is hierarchy. That means that the main man is divine. There is one person, but Jesus has a human will. Jesus has a human freedom. But his human will, his human freedom, is always following what the divine person says and wants. There is order, and there are many consequences for that. What it follows? It follows that in our lives, also we have our spiritual life, we have our human life. They are different. They are separated, but they cannot be opposed. My human life cannot go this way, and my spiritual life this way. Because there is union, and there is hierarchy, there is order. Sometimes we are tempted to separate. Oh, this I am doing as a citizen. I am not doing as a spiritual individual. What is it? What is it? You are separating. Oh, in my work, I have to earn as much as I can. Okay, good. But be careful. Order. First the spiritual. The human has to follow. They cannot be two closed areas to each other. And there is harmony. Harmony. There is harmony means that between apparently opposite virtues or apparently opposite aspects, there is harmony, body and soul, feelings and reason. What do I want to say? At the beginning, I said we face many like dilemma, these oppositions. We don't know what to follow, what is right, what is best. The point is to understand that if it is presented to me an opposition that I cannot solve, but there is between two good things and not between good and evil, we said between good and evil, no way, absolute opposition. But between two good things that I don't find how to match them, and I say, oh, and you are tempted to think that they are contrary, that they are opposite. Okay, the first conclusion has to be, I am wrong. I am wrong. There is something that is not working. There is some mistake in my reasoning. If I put in a position my feelings and my reason, yes, it can happen. It happens. It happens. But it's not this the end of the story. It means that what is wrong is me. The problem is mine. I have to find the harmony between my feelings. Okay, so it's a long life work. It is possible, and the incarnation shows us the way. Jesus shows us that our vocation is to have harmony, reason, faith, body and soul, feelings and reason, action and contemplation, obedience and autonomy, tradition and progress, etc. All what we said. Our world will not accept this view. We'll try to put in a position always. The incarnation is what puts together things again. What puts together things again. And finally, elevation or transcendence. This is a very important point. What is the main idea of that? The incarnation shows us. What do I mean? We meet Jesus, and he has a human nature, he has a divine nature, But we discover that his divine nature goes far beyond human nature. That when he rises at 10 a.m., that is something that goes beyond. I mean, it means that the divine nature goes far beyond our human nature. This is true also for us, and this is a very important point for our lives, a very important point for our spiritual life. What does it mean concretely? We must reason. We must discover what is right and what is wrong. We must discover what is best. We must follow justice. We must follow what is right and what is perfect. Yes, all of that is true. But there is a point. There is a point in which all of that is not enough. There is something else. There is something else. I will put a few examples. I can find, I don't know. There is a point beyond what there are no more explanations. To say it easy, for example, what is a consecrated vocation? It's something that goes beyond the point, that goes beyond what I can understand and what I can explain, because it goes beyond my human nature. No, justice, etc. But later there is a moment in which you are called to forgiveness. And forgiveness goes beyond what is strict justice. And this is because of the mystery of the incarnation. And the gospel is full of these kind of things. Realities in which save the nature, because forgiveness respects justice, but goes beyond. Save the nature, there is something that goes beyond, and you cannot explain. And God, as a Christian, Jesus Christ, many times in our lives, calling us to go beyond. Calling us to go beyond. And if we remain at a very human level, yes, you will be very peaceful. Say, no, I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm doing that. I'm doing what is right. I'm doing what is expected. Okay, perfect. But Jesus did much more what was expected. He went in many aspects. And if we go back to the history with which started, it's the same. He could still work, even, and Albert, he still could work in finding a social solution for poverty. But the solution he found absolutely goes every line, goes far beyond nature. Okay, this aspect of the transcendence is absolutely important. And to know, yes, try to follow Jesus, work for what is right, try your best, work for right better, but know that all of that will find a limit. A limit beyond what? Only the mystery of the incarnation will give you the key to go beyond. Only the union with Jesus Christ will give you the key to go beyond, to understand what is it. What does it mean? What is the way? Yes, this is very important for us. And finally, it's very short. If we consider the way of incarnation, what is the same? What is the way of incarnation? What says the letter to the Philippians 2? It's not verse number 2, I think it's number 6. Who existing in the form of God, counting not the being on an equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself, humiliated himself, becoming a servant, becoming one of us. And this is I said that I cannot develop, and you don't want me to develop the whole concept of the incarnation because you are also tired. But here there is a very important thing. When we dream for our lives, whatever our future, when we think our future, usually our future is full of nice, beautiful things because we dream good things and good things. And later on, when we are growing up and maturing, all that starts being more concrete. What does it mean for me? Or to be a teacher, to be a worker, to be an engineer, to be a doctor, to be a whatever. And we put dreams, we put like a phrase, dream. And always I say like that. I mean, this is good. This is good. Dream. Have great dreams for you, for your life, for your family, for your future. But remember what we said before. The best of the dreams also has a limit. The best of the dreams, what happens with the best of the dreams? What is the problem? Problems start with the best of the dream. If your life is only for that, if your life is only for that, the problem is when you achieve the dream. The problem is when you find it. Because when you reach that point, you say, and then, and now, and what? And this is why this is very important, because it puts before us the right and only dream that will never deceive us. That is, what is my dream? To be an engineer, to be a teacher, to be, yes, okay, perfect, that fits, perfect. But my dream is to be like Jesus Christ, to have his heart, to have his feelings, to have his ways of thinking. And considering this going beyond, this unlimited going beyond, then you will never be deceived. You will be always walking, happy of doing so, but never saying, and then, and now, no. Because always Jesus Christ will be in front of you, telling you, still there is more. Still there is more. Make your dream greater. Don't put limits to your dream of imitating me. It's what happened when Adam Milowski painted this Ecce Homo. This was his inner transformation. Then have great dreams, but the great dreams means that the way of the incarnation, following the soul of Jesus Christ, having his feelings, his thoughts, his way of thinking, his way of reacting, his way of facing problems, his way of, okay. This is where all our mysteries, all our problems, all our issues find really light and solution in Jesus Christ. And finally, it's very short, 2 phrases. If we consider the historical development of the mystery, we know that the body of Christ, his nature, lasts in history through the church and through the sacraments. That is to say something about history, the end and goal of history. The mystery of the incarnation shows us and tells us also how everything will finish. The history of the world has a goal, has an end, has an objective. The history of the world is not to last forever. There are some, if you go to the newspapers and read the section of science, that are many worried because perhaps in 4 million years more ahead, our Earth will disappear. I think it will disappear before. Why? Because our history has an end. The end is Jesus Christ, and has an objective, a goal. What is the goal of the objective? St. Thomas Aquinas, following the revelation, says the number of the chosen to be completed. What means? That God knows that there is a number of people who will enter heaven. When this number will be completed, finish. Jesus will come. Jesus will come. And the history will have a finish. Then it means that history will not die by natural death. No, we have not to be much worried about that. We must be worried to complete that number in ourselves and in others. And finally, the last point, the mystery of the incarnation is what reveals us the depths of the mystery of man, is considering the recipient of the mystery of the incarnation, who is Mary Most Holy. In Mary Most Holy, we also find the explanation or the reasons, or we find no reasons, the answer to many of our problems. We have a mother who takes care of us, is the same mother of Jesus Christ, protects us, guides us, and enlightens us. Then to her, we entrust ourselves. Thank you. So.